Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is time for you to align with your highest and your best self. And if this is your first time tuning in, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, you've been hearing the hype, you've been hearing the talk, you've been hearing everybody on the street saying manifesting miracles and Michelle Juanita Lamont. And you've been hearing it and people have been sharing it with you and you've been seeing it getting awards after awards after awards. And what the fuck is this podcast all about? It is about you. It is about you. It is about you. It is about you. It is about you learning how to manifest something just completely different than the life that you have been experiencing, because it is time for you to receive yours and to have these experiences. Because why would anybody not want to live in a reality and where their alignment of abundance is connected, it is powerful, it is secure? You see, I started this podcast to serve you, to help you align yourself with the highest and the best version of yourself, because you are worthy. Because when I was on my journey, there was nobody like me out there telling it like it fucking is, explaining to you and helping you understand and navigate through everything that is and isn't true for you. Now, one of the things that everybody always wants to discuss and talk about is abundance. And so I want to talk about the alignment of your abundance so you can release all of the limiting things that are keeping you back, whether you're conscious of it or unconscious of it, because it's so important for you to understand that you came here to Earth, the teaching planet, in order to manifest your miracles, in order for you to align yourself with the highest and the most affluent, wealthiest, loving, kind, appreciative, abundant, supplied, divinely protected, highly sought after version of yourself. Do you know why I know this? Because I'm here with you. All of us are here. We all have a soul pact with each other. We all have a soul tied to each other, or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast. Now, if you truly care about people in your life, if you truly are a good person, you are going to want to share your knowledge. And I've got a plan for that. I can certify you as a manifestation coach, but most importantly, if you share this Manifesting Miracles podcast, whether you're doing it on YouTube, whether you're doing it on Spotify, on Stitcher, on Apple Podcast, on Dream Player, wherever it is, there's so many platforms. There's hundreds of platforms that you can listen to podcasts. Wherever you're finding this message, wherever it found you, in whatever timeline, space, and dimension that you are listening to this from, whatever planet and solar system you came from, wherever you are in this planetary journey, you are here right now, and we've all agreed to sign up for the big party. It's called Earth. Now, you didn't come here without instructions. You came here with all the instructions, but the energy that is most common here on this planet is fear, is doubt, is shame, is insecurity. Wait, you're gay? Wait, you don't know what you are? Wait, you're a different color than I am? You're a different religion? You're from a different region? You're from a different country? You see, when you're here on this planet, the whole goal of the 3D dimensional universe is to alienate you from your divine light. You see, if we start to spread this message about manifesting, about God, about energy, about light, about angels, about guides, about miracles, then the universe is going to send you the audience, the people, the money, the opportunities, everything you want. You know why? Because this podcast right here, what you're listening to right here, this is about your abundance. This is good karma energy. This is spirituality. This is your life path. This is your soul's destiny to achieve the things that you came here to manifest. And then everybody wants to tell you that you're wrong and you're crazy and fuck them, fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. But instead of saying fuck them, let's bring them in. Some of my biggest detractors have become some of my most loyal advocates. Some of the people that disliked me the most now sing my praises. Now, why is that? You see, they were coming from their lack mentality. How dare that Colombian bitch think that she can have anything she wants? How dare that orphan of the universe without any parents, that homeless child, come up here, get her degrees, and tell us what fucking time it is? Well, that's who I am. My name is Michelle Juanita Lamont. I'm a manifestation master, author, speaker, and coach. And today is the first day of the rest of your abundance, because we are going to cover and discuss some very important things, because it is time for you to really understand how powerful you are. Now, one of the things about being in alignment is the way that our brain actually breaks things down. Now, I want to also introduce to you another idea. I want to introduce to you an idea that each and every episode comes as a download to me, and then I communicate it through you. So there's no scripts, there's no co-host, there's nobody writing anything for me. This is all clear, cognizant, clear, clairvoyant energy that I am funneling and guiding you into understanding, receiving, and hearing. You see, your guides and your angels were absolutely sick and tired of you pretending like you were not who you are. You are a powerful, powerful, powerful creator. But in our minds, our negative thinking is so jacked up. You see, our conscious mind, what we think about all day long. So if you're over here spouting off mantras all day long, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. Now, these things are wonderful because what you speak about, you bring about, right? What you put your attention on, you manifest. If you constantly say, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late, what are you going to be? You got it, late. So our conscious mind, as much as we believe it's so powerful and it's always there and it's always talking to us and yada, 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 it is not. Our conscious mind is only 5 to 10%. Oh, did I just crack something open for you? Your conscious mind, that means the work is not during the day, is it? The subconscious mind is 50 to 60% of our internal blueprint of how our life should turn out. And our unconscious mind is 30%. So what does all of that mean, and how is that impacting you? You see, the layers of the mind are either your realities, like your people, the places, the things, whatever, or your inner reality are your fears, your thoughts, your insecurities. So the conscious mind is the mind where you're neither distracted by your reality or your inner reality. So the conscious mind is you driving. You're not sitting there, or maybe you are, but let's say you're driving, you're working, you're watching TV, you're floating in the pool, you're putting on boots to go outside in the snowstorm, you're about to fire up the car, whatever it is. Your conscious mind isn't necessarily in its subconscious or its unconscious mindset, because when we find ourselves in this place, we are in the conscious choice of the decisions that we're making. We're consciously tying our boots. We're consciously finding our keys. We're consciously putting on our swimsuit to go take a little stroll in the ocean because you live in St. Pete, Florida, and the water is warm even in December. And and like how we're thinking and feeling, it changes the state of being. Now, the state of being in your conscious mind is only 5 to 10% of your reality, but it seems like it's our entire reality. But that's just not true. That's our conscious mind, and that changes your state of being. So if you think, oh my gosh, it's going to be so cold outside, then you're consciously being more connected to the cold than the warmth of the coat, of the layering, of the boots, of the shoes. We'll get a little bit more into that in a second. And what is the subconscious mind? Well, the subconscious mind represents our personality and our attitude. Excuse me. And in this layer where the patterns are made, it is actually creating our thoughts. And you think and an emotionally feeling it, and you repeat that over and over again. And some beliefs are conditioned, and you can live within this layer all the time. And that's what's fucking jacked up. Nobody ever explains to us that our subconscious mind are layers and layers of patterns. Dr. Joe Dispenza has a really good uh, book on that. And although it's hard to read because it's so big, basically what Dr. Joe Dispenza discusses, and I speak of so many different people, but this one just came to mind. He says, when something bad occurs in your life, you either consciously or subconsciously decide to move through it, to understand it, and to release it, or it becomes part of how you feel. This is that subconscious mind, right? The subconscious mind is our personality and our attitude. And so within that layer of thinking and that subconscious mind, we are always creating some new belief about something. So when I grew up at the Children's Waco Methodist home, my subconscious mind believed that I was not worthy. If my mother died at such a young age, did God not think I deserved a mom? If my dad decided to keep my brothers and give me away, did my dad not think that I was worthy of love? So at the age of 10 and a half, like many, 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 many of hundreds of thousands of you listening, yes, you're not alone. There's hundreds of thousands of you, that when you are in that state and you have had these traumas happen as a child, you are starting to either accept these things as part of your personality, and they come in to your reality, and you can either reject them or accept them, but you're so young, you don't understand. So you become more fearful, like you become fearful of certain people or certain types of situations or certain things. There's only very few things that you're naturally fearful of. And when a baby is born, it only has fear of like two things. Falling is one of them. That's why they don't fall like off of a balcony. They're not going to naturally just like crawl off of a balcony or something like that. But everything else is learned. We learn to have fear of money. We learn to have fear of love. We learn to have fear of trust. We learn to have fear of excitement. I used to have a big fear of getting myself excited. You see, my dad would say he was going to come visit, and I would get so excited, and I would pack my little weekend bag, and there was a little hotel on campus because most of the people who were delegated to or relegated to living in an orphanage came from humble beginnings or trashy, poor backgrounds, whatever you might have. And so a reason for not seeing your child might be that you can't afford to come visit. So they created this hotel, and it's free, and you just have to check in and check out. And I packed my little bag, and all the other girls were making fun of me. Your dad's not coming. Your dad doesn't love you. Your dad wouldn't put you here if he thought you were good. And so in my mind, I was always like, well, I have to be good. I have to be good, which in some way, I guess, was very good because I became an excellent student. And then I became a very successful entrepreneur in multiple industries, multiple times. It's one thing to go get a degree and take a job there. You get a degree, you're a nurse, there you are. You get a degree, you're an esthetician, there you are. But to do it in multiple different industries, now that's something different. And I'm excited to see you release attachments that you can only be one thing. You can be anything you fucking want. And if you're naturally inclined to it, stop allowing that subconscious thinking to convince you that you can only be one thing. See, that part of your personality and that part of your attitude was indoctrinated, and you didn't know that it was given to you and that you received it willingly, and you have to cut the cords with that. And then there's the unconscious mind. And this layer is hidden from our awareness completely. It's kind of like, your internal system. Like, we don't know how our liver really works unless we're a nurse or a doctor or a practitioner in the health industry of some sort, EMT, what have you. We probably don't. I don't know how my lungs work. I just, like, about 6 years ago, I found out that there was 4 chambers of the heart. So there's so many things internally we have no idea that what they're doing all the time, and we don't have to think stomach, process and put the chemicals in there to break down the food. It's always happening on a subconscious or unconscious level. And so our thoughts and our emotions become part of that system and those habits. And these stored infinite layers in our reality begin to change our state of being. So when we want to live, basically we want to live, from our lives, from our conscious and our subconscious layers, because our unconscious is just at the mercy of our habits and conditioning. A great book, if you haven't read it, is Atomic Habits. This book really helped me change that unconscious thinking, because the unconscious thinking is something about what did we say? It's 30% of our brain, right? So this unconscious thinking is giving us these layers and layers and layers that's hidden from our awareness. And they make up our conditioning, our stubbornness, our attitudes, and our habits. And so in order for us to move past that unconscious thinking, we have to start changing our habits from the inside out. Meditate, 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 meditate. Because within our minds is an internal voice. And that internal voice is layered. It has subconscious thinking, which is 50 to 60%. It has conscious thinking, which is 5 to 10%. And then you have your unconscious thinking. So in order to manifest things into our reality, we have to what? Be in alignment with abundance. Well, how can we be in alignment with abundance if we are constantly attached to the emotional being that we see every single day? It won't work. You'll get frustrated, you'll get angry, you'll walk away from this, and then you'll go back to the 3D reality where nothing is serving you the way that you want it to serve you. So in order for you to start delving deeper and deeper into your manifestation state and raise your abundance and your alignment, I want you to understand that your thoughts then produce an emotion, and the emotion produce a pattern. And then that pattern is your subconscious mind. And then you're confirming that because you're constantly thinking that. And then you have this all knowing that this is who you are. For my whole life, I thought that's who I was. I was an angry, rejected, sad, resentful, pissed off little Latina walking around this world, waiting to take a punch out of something. And understanding that the attachments that I had was the next step in aligning my own abundance, allowing my mind to expand, allowing my energy to be released, because I was so attached to having pain, and I was so attached to having things. And I want to explain to you kind of what are these attachments. So basic attachments, and we stay attached to energy in a subconscious and in an unconscious mind. Okay. In a subconscious and an unconscious mind, that makes up 90% of your thinking. 90% of your thinking. 90% of your thinking. And you're like, no, I have mantra on my phone. I have a mantra in my car. I even met somebody. I was on a call with somebody once, and she was very busy. She worked in an ER. And we worked together. We did a program I offer called 6 Weeks to Success. It's 11-11. And in 6 weeks, you get re-fucking set. So set that appointment with me, go in and book a free 15 minutes. But if you book an hour session and you go and do 6 weeks to success, half of your hour will be used for the 6 weeks to success. So, part of the things that we stay attached to is energy. And I want to teach you how to cut those energetic cords and call back your own divine alignment. You are abundant. You are abundant. You are abundant. You have cosmic currency and ancestral energy. And the most important thing that you can do is share this podcast with 5 people every single day. My son sent this to me. My mom sent this to me. My aunt sent this to me. My coworker sent this to me. I even had somebody that their boss sent this to them. Okay. So I have somebody that their ex, they sent this podcast to their ex, and their ex became one of my students. So I want to tell you why it's so important to share this podcast. The reason that it's important to share this podcast, my beloved, beautiful, divine being, is because when you do, you're aligning with abundance. That means that you want people in your life to feel better. You want people in your life to manifest their miracles. You want people in your life to achieve more than they've achieved so far. And that makes you amazing. And to me, that makes you my hero. I don't ask you to pay any money on support this podcast. You don't go to my notes and say, hey, send me $5, send me $10. I ask that you share this. I ask that you write a review. I ask that you do Instagram and TikTok and LinkedIn and Facebook and Twitter this. So we can collectively raise the vibration of our planet. And whether I am in this world currently or not, and you're listening to this podcast, I need you to share this with 5 people, because the alignment of our universe, the alignment of our being, of our souls depend on you understanding that it is important for you to try. Just try, share it right there where it says the title. You'll see 3 little dots. You just touch it right there. Move your precious finger and hit share. Send it to on your group chat. Send it with your sisters, send it with your brothers, send it with your cousins, send it with your friends, send it to brunch dates. Send it to your boyfriend, send it to your lover, send it to your husband, send it to your wife, send it to your partners. Because nobody is going to listen to this podcast and think you dislike them. They're going to hear something each and every podcast, something different, something aligned, and something powerful. My goal for whatever days I'm here is to help as many of you turn that light on. Do you know how many of my students have started their own businesses? Countless. Do you know how many of them have quit their jobs and become the thing they always dreamed of? I can't even tell you. I have people that I've met who were waitresses, who became painters and are successful. And I met people who were teachers who left their jobs and now are starting podcasts. I know people who were nurses and left their jobs and now are opening a restaurant. They're becoming caterers. They're just traveling the world. They're becoming unattached. They're becoming unattached to the 3D bullshit reality that is rigged for you to jump in and want their reality, want your own fucking reality. You don't want any kids? Cool. You're gay and you want to be straight? Cool. You're straight and you're gay? Cool. Whatever the fuck it is that you are, that is A-okay. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy. Join me. I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. A, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. A, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. I am worthy, 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 I'm fucking worthy. You know, if God was sitting here, and he is, or whatever higher being you believe in, he would look at you and say, baby, you're a badass. You're a hottie body. You're a hottie baddie. And everything that you have ever dreamed of is already yours. Reach for it, go for it, listen to another podcast and listen to another podcast. I don't mind if you listen to this 24 hours a day, because I know your energy will stay high. So how do we detach? What are standard and regular attachments? So in order to move from that conscious and the subconscious and the unconscious, we have to understand what we're attached to. So possessions, thoughts, ideologies, you know, what your financial status is. Like, I don't give a fucking flying leap if you're a waitress or you own the restaurant. If you're down with me, I'm down with you. And I've been all of them. I've been the server and the owner. I've been the person who's waiting on you at the retail store, and I've owned a chain of retail stores. I've been the person who's wanting to be seen, and I've been a red carpet TV media publicist, highly sought after. So our financial status, our social status, and yes, my resume right there is an attachment. Why do I have to explain to anybody all the degrees, all the education, all the things, all the experiences? Because all of us have an attachment. And for you to understand that your attachment is normal, I have to explain to you what mine looks like. And at that time and point, there is a bias about it. There is a bias about it. Our possessions, our people, and the relationships. You know, I used to have huge birthday parties, hundreds and hundreds of people, or at least 50 or 60, you know, whatever in my mind, it felt like it was big. And then COVID hit, we could only have 7, and I had to determine who those people were. And 1 or 2, I would definitely leave off that list now. But having 1 or 2 really solid people in your life, that's more than I think any of us can ask for. So what are less obvious attachments? Because releasing attachments is so important. Emotional patterns. You know, I used to get just so emotional when anybody talked about cancer, when anybody talked about their childhood, when anybody talked about their dad. Fuck. So, and if you haven't listened to my episode on daddy issues, I would really appreciate it if you go and listen. Habits of thinking. All right. The number one thing that's going to keep you limited is your attachment to not changing. You got to know the outcome. Well, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? And that habit of thinking, that unconscious mind, and that superiority complex, the narcissist in your life, maybe you're the narcissist. If you meet 12 assholes in a day, you're the asshole. Or the absolute opposite. Oh, I don't have anything. I'm the saddest person in the world. Everything is rainy clouds. And I used to be that person. All I would talk about was all the negative things that were happening in my life. You know, this client didn't do this, or this person wanted to return a Halloween costume at Christmas. I can't believe it. And I would just go on and on and on and be incessant about it. And the biggest problem with attachments, especially the less obvious ones, is that we can design a justification for each and every single one of them. And that's just the plain truth. It's easy for the ego self to control what we think and what we feel. And if you're unable to separate yourself from it, it will attach itself to you. And there's so many more things that we're attached to, but this is not a whole course. I would love for you to sign up for Alignment Exposed. Every January, I take 12 students through a 6-week journey. This is the original 6 weeks to success, but it's in a group. My 6 weeks to success is one-on-one coaching, just you and I. And that's 11-11. But Alignment Exposed is a group class with 12 other people who are not going to go into 2023 the way that they lived so far. They're going to break these chains that bind them. They're going to release these attachments. And some of the easiest ways to kind of start discovering what your attachments are is asking yourself a series of questions. And some of them might be, am I mentally or emotionally disturbed by not having what it is that I want? Would I be okay with never getting the one thing that I want to manifest? Would it be okay if I never got this? Would it be okay if this thing never appeared in my reality? And when you start to ask yourself these questions and you start to reflect on them, you start to journal on them, you start to meditate on it, just remember, let me see how much time we have, because I don't want to keep you guys. Oops, I got to wrap up. All right. It's at the end of the podcast that I ask these questions, and through any type of lens that you can, you're going to visualize yourself letting go of the need to have these things appear in your reality, because I promise you that your subconscious, your unconscious, and your conscious mind, all of them, if they were taken into a clear, aligned state of being, would be cheering you on. You don't need to have that thing that you're obsessing over, that person, that position, whatever it is, that relationship. You don't. You need to channel and funnel all of your energy into you. And releasing those attachments will allow you to visualize a more manifested version of yourself. You know, when I moved to Florida, I had so many boxes. I gave away 3 truckloads to charity, 3 full U-Haul truckloads to charity. And I had 1 U-Haul moving down here. I don't even know. That included all my furniture too. And I live in a 3-bedroom house. And I still have 6 boxes in the garage that I haven't even opened. And you know what's coming next week? Big trash pickup. I'm not even going to look at them. Why? Michelle, what if it's something you need? What if it's China? What if it's a memory? I've taken all the photo albums out. And what are photo albums but a record of our history? And what's a record of our history? Proof that we were here. And who needs proof that we were here? We're eternal beings. In the cosmos, it seems as if this earth incarnation is such a little dot in the timeline of our realities, that when you come here to manifest, you get caught up in your subconscious, your conscious, and your unconscious mind, and you're constantly attached to the reality that is biased. So I invite you to listen to this podcast a couple of times so you can really dive deep within your layers and understand what you're consciously and subconsciously thinking about. Because when you were born, you absolutely had no fear, maybe of falling. When you were born, you believed that when you screamed, the milk would come, the titty would appear, and you would be nurtured. And now here you are, twisting and turning in the world, energy dismayed, unshoveled, confused, and unaligned. And so the abundance seems to miss, doesn't seem to hit, doesn't seem to get there. Maybe it's low self-esteem. Maybe it's a lack of what you think that people see in you. Maybe it's a physical attribute. Maybe it's a mental. Maybe it's an emotional. But all of it is vibrational. We are energy, frequency, and vibration. Everything started with the big sound. That sound vibration is how you create things into your reality. And you cannot align with the highest version of abundance when you are in your subconscious or unconscious reality and not in your conscious. And I teach you the gift of your power. My gift on this planet is giving you all of this information and allowing you to listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over again. And allowing you to raise your vibration so you can get the nerve to book that call. And when you book that call, the next thing that's going to happen is that we are going to find a solution. I don't care what state you're in. I don't care what's going on in your reality. I even do a free 15-minute call. I offer 1 hour and 90-minute calls, and everybody who does them never wants the calls to end. But I also offer different ways for you to serve. You want to coach people? I have a 12-week coaching program. I have a 6-week one-on-one coaching plan that's just about you and I figuring out how you can move forward. And after the 6 weeks to success, we then create a 90-day timeline so you can move forward with the information that you need. And you've uncovered and unmasked this subconscious, this unconscious, so the conscious can all align. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy, you are loved. You are worthy, you are worthy, you are worthy, you are loved. And as I say, if people can hate for no reason, I can love you for any that I choose. And I choose to love you, and I choose to love you, and I choose to love you. Now, it's time for us to wrap up the podcast. So let's say our mantra. For those of you who are constant listeners to the show, you know it's everything is working out for us 3 times and then everything 3 times. So let's get to it. Let's participate. Let's raise our vibration because we're all saying it in unison. We're all helping each other manifest. I want you. I want you to call me. I want to work with you and I want to help you. And I want you to listen to this podcast each and every single day, all day long, until that vibration reaches its pinnacle. And you're like, yes, baby, I'm ready to fly. I am ready to fly because I'm ready to see you become that bird with the wings unclipped. All right. So let's count. Let's do our chant. And then I'm going to wrap up with my producers. And 3, 2, 1. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything. Speed it up. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything. All right, producers, it's time to wrap up. My name is Michelle Juanita Lamont, and I make manifesting a snap. So it's time for you to get out into the world and manifest your miracle today. Yes.